Well, it's Friday the 11th of September. This is episode 2036 of 301 Permanently Moved or Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited by me, at the JMO.
I feel like the sweetest and purest of all life forms has to be...
I'm 35, and my group of millennial friends are split 50-50 on the subject of TikTok. There's those who get it, and those who just don't care. I fall into the second category. The intro today is what it's like to be sat across the room from someone who's using TikTok, a disjointed sonic assault that can go on for an hour. As a result, I've been thinking a lot about TikTok. I'm also aware that this episode is a bit theory bro heavy. If anyone knows women who are writing about this stuff, please do let me know. My reactionary opinion is that TikTok is the most Baudrillardian of social networks. I now appreciate how infuriated my dad used to get when I was channel hopping as a teenager, whilst he was trying to read the newspaper. Sorry, Dad. In his 2006 book, Convergence Culture, Henry Jenkins described people who channel surf as zappers, individuals who constantly fit across the dial, watching snippets of shows rather than sitting down for a prolonged engagement. Jenkins references Philip Swan's 2000 book, TV.com, How Television is Shaping Our Future, which says, few visitors today can sit through an entire program without picking up the remote and checking another channel. Today's viewer needs constant gratification. If she's not entertained or intrigued for any stretch of time, she will flip the dial. Jenkins goes on to explain that reality TV was the first form of television to leverage channel surfing as a phenomenon built around attractions, or short, highly emotionally charged units that can be watched in or out of sequence. This also describes TikTok's design document. We'll circle back to TikTok being Baudrillardian shortly, but first, I must bring up Mcluhan. In his 1964 book, Understanding Media, The Extensions of Man, is most famous for the medium is the message, but the book also introduces us to the concept of topographic space. Before the invention of the written word, humanity lived in an acoustic space, defined by the primacy of spoken communication. In contrast with the invention of writing, topographic space is characterized by linear, segmented, one-at-a-timeness, i.e. reading one word after the other. So topographic consciousness favors comprehending discrete elements in a linear fashion. Sounds like that design document. Mcluhan believed that the advent of electronic media signaled a return to acoustic space. The flow of images and disjointed nature of channel surfing disrupts the linear character of topographic culture. Television enabled a stream of images and information from different times, places, and sources, thereby reviving the all-at-onceness of acoustic space and inaugurating the electronic global village. I mentioned this phenomena with regards to the internet in episode 1921. On TikTok, both spaces are present at the same time. Topographic in experience, but the mixing, sharing, and adaptation of ideas is acoustic and pretty much defines the network's complex culture. Jenkins' short, emotionally charged units are presented to us in a linear fashion. TikTok is the climax of the form of reality TV in many ways. But as we know, the medium is also the message. TikTok's UX is a total attention trap. The video plays in full screen as soon as you open the app. Navigation beyond the video feed requires swipes that make finding screen time settings completely undiscoverable, and importantly, like a casino, the UX hides the device's clock. This creates an atemporal experience, avoiding any signs that the user might be wasting their time and sovereign attention. In The Consumer Society, 1970, Baudrillard said a person will never manage to waste enough time to be rid of the inevitability of spending their lives earning it. In a 2005 post on The Consumer Society, Rob Horning notes, in Consumer Society, pleasing oneself appears to be the key to pleasing others. Pleasing others then becomes important as a means of pleasing oneself, which is the ultimate goal. One consumes in the act of self-indulgence, an attempt to create for oneself. Spontaneity is celebrated so it may be contained and effaced. This also sums up TikTok's create and consume design document. Given what we've briefly explored around channel hopping and consumption on TikTok, I'd like to propose that the action of video skipping is in many ways more important than the content itself. The user experience is optimized around the act of changing channels. Being a user of TikTok is about expressing consumer judgment. It is enjoyable to make up your mind about what you want to watch with maximum efficiency and accuracy. This is an important feature of TikTok that I haven't seen mentioned before. With every video skip inside the topographic space of the feed, an act of discernment occurs, like searching for ripe berries in a hedgerow. Discernment is an important skill when operating inside our highly networked technological reality. It's a skill completely unleveraged in Twitter's design grammar. In contrast, discernment is at the core of swipe right dating apps, for example. If we were shown one tweet at a time, discernment might develop and change the way that we engage with the network. Anyway, that's where I am on the subject of TikTok. But Before I go, I'm happy to announce I've started a YouTube show with a gentle premise, browsing the web together. You can find out more and subscribe by heading to comeinternet.with.me, link in the show notes.